have some anonymous cues, so real actual live questions from my clients. All right, so I thought I'd do a little chat about it. But I just want to say, when I was on here earlier, I thought I was being all smug and amazing because I had my iPad and I was recording a Facebook Live and doing a podcast, and I didn't actually hit the button on the record button on the Facebook Live, so wasn't as cool as I thought it was. However, I am currently doing a Facebook Live in our mini midlife reset, which is my giveaway. I was giving back to the community, so 7 days of free coaching by moi. Just because actually. Just because I spend quite a lot of time on social media saying to people, like, directly or indirectly, could you like this please? Would you like this? Could you do this? Could you do this for me? Could you answer this poll? Could you do this question? What do you think of this? Blah, 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 blah. So I thought I'd actually, like, just give something away for free. Anyway, we're doing fine. We're on day 2. We're nailing it. All the people that have signed up, all the ladies that have signed up, they've got habit trackers and stuff. So we're working on different things every day. So yesterday we were working on confidence, and they had some journaling homework to do last night. Obviously, it's entirely up to them how much they take part. But obviously, the more they do, and the more they interact with me, the more actual free coaching that they'll get, and the more they'll learn. And then at the end of the 7 days, they'll be totally sorted. They'll be ready to, like, change their life and stuff. Today's topic was sleep. So they've all got homework tonight as well to do about instigating a pre-bed routine, etc., etc. So there's about 6 or 7 things that you can do. See the previous podcast, by the way. But there's 6 or 7 things that they can do. So they're all going to come into the group tomorrow morning, totally buzzing after the best sleep ever. But today, like right now, we've got some anonymous cues, so I'm going to answer them because obviously they're real life concerns from real life middle-aged women, which is obviously very helpful if you're a middle-aged woman listening to this. So, first one is, I've never really understood the concept of journaling. What is it and how does it actually help? So, you can either go and buy a blank notebook, right, or you can go and buy a journal, right? I'll show you my journal for if you're watching this on YouTube or in the Facebook Live. All right, this is my actual journal, Coach Caris. All right, so this is the journal that I use, and I give these away to my clients usually as a Christmas present as well. This is orange because this is last season's. Or 2 years ago. The current one is actually pink. But so journaling, right? So title wise, this is a wellness journal. So we've got intention. We've got the day. We've got intention for the day. We've got sleep. We've got activity. We've got meals. If you're not using MyFitnessPal, we've got your water. We've got self-care. Right, so that's all your daily habits, basically. So writing stuff down, and there's 2 things you can do here. I usually, the night before, will write down the intention for the next day, and then I'll write my food, or I'll log my food in MyFitnessPal for the next day and just write that down. I'll write my planned activity for the next day, and I'll write my self-care for the next day. And then that at night as well, right, I'll do today's. So I'll fill up my sleep in from last night, and I'll fill in my what went well today. I've got, look, there's little smiley faces up there from a little to a smiley face. And then we've got thoughts and feels, any randoms. And then today I am thankful for. So you could use it as like a daily tracker, this side, for all your good habits. You could use it as a diary journal of how you feel, this side, all right? I do use both. But the whole point is that when you're in a deep, dark place, right, and I'm going to say the perimenal because for me it was a deep, dark place for a very long time, all right, it's very difficult to see the positives in anything, and it's very difficult to look after yourself. So this is why I started journaling. Now, I read in a book by Dr. Julie Smith, I think it's called. Why has nobody told me this before? Right, if you haven't read that book and you're in a deep dark hole of the perimeno, or you're just not feeling yourself and you're feeling a bit shit, right, you should go and read it. A friend actually gave it to me because she knew that I was really, really struggling. And it's in short paragraphs, so you don't actually have to read it as if you were reading a book. You can just pick it up and dip in and dip out. It's very good. Anyway, that's where I got journaling. Also, funnily enough, sorry, that same friend bought me my first journal. Lovely. So the whole point of journaling is two reasons. The first reason is to write down the positives that are happening in your life, because when you're in a deep dark fucking hole, it's really difficult and really hard to remember or notice any positives, right? Now, you might feel like a bit of a dick to start with. I'm sure I could go and dig out my first journal, actually. I think it's down the stairs, but it's got things in it like, I am grateful that the sun shone. I went for a takeaway coffee today. It made me smile. Right? It's simple things like that, right? But when you get over the fact that nobody's actually going to read your journal, right? Nobody actually gives a fuck. We're not teenagers here. Do you know what I mean? Your mum's not going to break into your room and knock the padlock off it or whatever, all right? Just try and get over the fact that nobody's going to read it. It is literally between you. The other good thing it's good for is when you're trying to look after yourself and it's actually really difficult, you just need to follow the process blindly, right? You don't need to question it. You just need to trust and know that it works. So these things here, like your intentions, your sleep, your activity, your self-care, what food you're eating and the water that you're drinking, that's you basically looking after yourself. Now, if you can fill that page in every day without even thinking about it, just blindly follow the process, all right, you will eventually actually start to put some effort in. You will click that you are constantly writing food shite, all right, or right, too many snacks, too much chocolate, 4 packets of Haribo, 8 packets of crisps, 4 bottles of wine. At one point, when you are following that process blindly and filling that in every single day, day after day after day, at some point something will click and you will think to yourself, I wonder if I could maybe up the quality of my food. I wonder if I could maybe cut down to 1 bottle of wine. I wonder if I could maybe not eat 5 packets of crisps in a row. What about if I actually ate some fruit and veg? Same with your activity, same with your exercise, all right? 2,000 steps, 3,000 steps. At some point, something is going to click and you're going to be like, see, instead of sitting on the sofa for 2 hours every night, scrolling through Instagram and drinking wine, I'm going to go for a walk. Right, so the positives will come out of it. It's a repetitive exercise, all right? And at some point, your brain will question you as to, like, what the fuck are you doing? All right, you're wasting your life away. At some point, that will happen, all right? Could be 3 months, could be 6 months, could be a week, but at some point, it'll happen. So, I am a massive believer in journaling. I never used to believe in journaling. I used to think it was woo-woo and a pile of shite. I journal probably about 4 days a week. I don't do it every night. I do sometimes do it every night if I'm struggling or I'm feeling a bit like a negative Nancy, then I will do it. But if you've never done it, try it. I have clients that have tried it. It's not for them. That's totally cool. I'm asking that you try it. All right, banging question, by the way. Question number 2. How do you satisfy or eliminate the sweet cravings without blowing it? Ooh. Right, so that's 2 questions, really. Do you want to satisfy your sweet cravings or do you want to eliminate your sweet cravings? You're probably never going to eliminate your sweet. In fact, the only way you would eliminate your sweet cravings is to cut sugar out and completely, entirely for the rest of your life. Before you even try that, you need to think about how realistic that is for you to do, right? I'm never going to cut sugar out. I'm never going to cut chocolate out. Davina McCall, I think, is the most famous person I know that has cut sugar out her diet. That's fine. If that's what she wants to do, that's cool. I don't want to do that. I'm never going to live without Freddos, ever. That is my sweet treat go-to. I'm never going to not eat cake. I fucking love cake. I kid you not. Oh, Freddos are cake. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, actually. Right, so I have a Freddo, at least one Freddo every day. I don't have cake every day. So, how do you satisfy or eliminate the sweet cravings? Right, so the only way you will eliminate the sweet cravings is to never eat sugar again or never eat anything sweet again. Therefore, your body and brain will forget what it tastes like. Therefore, they will not crave it, all right? I want you to think very carefully before you decide to do that because it's very hard to do. But if that's what you want to do, knock yourself out, all right? How do you satisfy sweet cravings? So, I will say, I've said this before, all right? The answer to eating all the chocolate is not to cut the chocolate out. The answer is to learn portion control. Now, while you're practicing portion control, you will absolutely fuck it up. And you will absolutely eat a lot of fucking chocolate trying to get it under control. But at one point, you will get it under control, all right? This is why, partly, I eat Freddos, because they're individually portioned. However, the fact that they've went up from whatever price they were for five, £1.20 for five, they used to be £1, I think. They used to be 10 pence, but that was a long time ago. So they used to be £1 for five, and then they went up to 120 for five, and now they're 140 for four. I'm beginning to feel a bit robbed. But I don't think I'm at the stage in my life that I could actually buy a massive family bar of dairy milk and keep it in the fridge and just have four squares each day. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm that adult-like. So, how do you satisfy sweet cravings? Right. I genuinely kid you not, all right, you need to practice portion control. Portion control is the only way that you will satisfy your sweet cravings, as they've said, without blowing it, all right? So this is what I did to start with. I had no chocolate in the house. I literally went cold turkey, right? It was horrible. It was absolutely awful. Then I started buying Freddos and I hid them. Right, now I know a lot of adults do that because they've got like their kids cupboard and the snack cupboard or the chocolate cupboard or the chocolate drawer or whatever it is that your thing is, right? So I had them in a tin in the pantry, a tin. I think it's actually a Freddo tin. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think it's a Freddo tin. Anyway, I had them in a tin so that when I walked into the kitchen, I couldn't see them. So I portioned myself. So I had two a day, one after my lunch, one after my dinner. And that is pretty much how many Freddos I eat a day. One or two, all right? Definitely one after my dinner. I wouldn't forfeit that for anything. But sometimes I don't, like I've not had one after my lunch today. Then, when I felt a little bit more confident and I could trust myself, they now sit in the bottom of my fridge. So in your fruit and veg drawer, your vegetable crisper or whatever, I have no vegetables or fruit in it. I have a plastic tub on one side with Baby Bells for me and cheese strings for Cal. And on the other side is another plastic tub and there's Freddos in it, Milky Ways, because Cal likes a Milky Way currently, and there's some Turkish Delights as well, because why is there Turkish Delights in there? Because I keep them in the freezer. Anyway, there's a Turkish Delight in the bottom. I've seen it this morning. So I'm now at the stage that I can have chocolate in my sight and I don't actually eat the whole thing, all right? However, there was many a time that I have eaten 4 or 5 or 6 Freddos in a one-hour. Yeah? It's hard. It's tough, right? So, to clarify, the only way you will eliminate sweet cravings is to not eat sugar for a very long time, all right? Because then your body and your brain will forget that you've ever had it. It won't be in your system. Your body won't think about it. Your brain won't think about it, and you'll never crave it. And the only way to satisfy it is portion control. So it's actually to have, I would suggest, the thing that you love the most every single day. Or give yourself permission, you have to give yourself permission to have it every single day. All right, if you start down the road of, oh my God, I can't ever eat chocolate again, you're telling yourself that you can't have it and all you're going to do is binge on it. It's just going to be a vicious circle. So you're going to have no Freddos, 8 Freddos in one sitting. No Freddos, 12 Freddos in one sitting. Just fucking have a Freddo every single day across the course of the week. Do you know what I mean? That's only like 7 Freddos. And if you need 2 a day, that's okay. That's only 14 Freddos. Mint chocolate Kit Kats as well. Not me. That's another one of my, that's a client thing. They like mint chocolate Kit Kats as well. That's another satisfy sweet tooth. All right, so pick whatever you want. Pick whatever your thing is and eat a bit of it every day until you absolutely smash it. Excellent. Right, question number 3. We've got 2 more, my lovelies. How do you know what your calories, protein, fat, sugar goals should be? How do you effectively manage a calorie deficit and not just undereat? This is quite a few questions, actually. If there was only one thing you could recommend to your ladies, what would it be? Do you take supplements from places? Do you take supplements like collagen, etc., etc.? Right. How do you know what your calories, protein, fat, sugar and goals should be? So, calories are based on a formula. Can't remember the name of it. I do use it daily. Can't remember the name of it. All right. So, it's based on your age, your sex, your height, your body weight, which will give you your basic metabolic rate. And then you multiply that by your activity level, all right? And that gives you your calories. That gives you effectively your maintenance calories. So if I ate, for example, 2,600 calories every day for the rest of my life, my weight would pretty much stay the same, all right? To get a deficit, you just need to knock a percentage off of that. So I would recommend 15% to start with. All right. In fact, I wouldn't actually recommend anything. I would recommend you getting onto your maintenance calories and you track all your every single bit of food and drink, whether there's calories in it or not, like water. Every single bit of food and drink, track it on MyFitnessPal for a fortnight. All right, while stepping on the scales every morning. If at the end of the fortnight your weights went up quite a bit, you're eating too many calories and we need to cut you down a wee bit. All right. That's what I would do. But try, when you first start tracking on MyFitnessPal, try and not actually change your diet. Use it as a benchmark and then you can take your calories. You can put yourself into a deficit. This is if you don't know how to work your calories out. If you know how to work your calories out, or you know somebody who'll work your calories out for you, then I would put you on maintenance calories for a couple of weeks and then see how we got on for there and then put you on a little deficit. So calories, protein, fat, carbohydrates. I hope you've not missed out carbohydrates because you're a midlife woman and you don't eat carbohydrates because that's pretty much what sugar is, all right? But so calories are king for fat loss. You must be in a deficit for fat loss, all right? Protein will keep you fuller for longer and retain the muscle that you have because we don't want to lose our muscle while we're dieting. We actually only want to lose body fat, all right? Dietary fat and carbs don't make much of a difference. They will make a difference when you've got like a midge's ball hair worth of weight to lose, when you're right down to your whatever you want to be at, near your goal. But before that, they won't make a difference, all right? How do you effectively manage a calorie deficit and not just undereat? Right, so this makes me laugh to a certain extent, right? There is absolutely no fucking danger any of us got into the state that we're in by undereating. So I don't understand why we think that we're going to do it later on, all right? Unless we're going to do something ridiculous and try and live on 800 calories. So that would be ridiculous, right? So how to manage, make sure that you're in a calorie deficit is you need to track your food on MyFitnessPal or the other one. Nutricheck, is it maybe called? You need to have some kind of a food log. You need to have some kind of process for logging your food, all right? It is only data, but the more accurate the data is, the more information we have and the easier it will be to make sure that you're in a deficit. So, how do you effectively manage a calorie deficit? Excuse me, make sure it's a healthy calorie deficit to start. 15% is enough to start with. And do all the other stuff that helps you stick to your calorie deficit, like manage your stress, practice your portion control, get 79 hours sleep a night, drink 3 to 4 litres of water a day, do your exercise, do your activity. All of those things, the fact that you're looking after yourself will be more helpful in letting you stick to your calorie deficit, all right? If you don't want to undereat, you need to track your food. If there was only one thing you could recommend to your ladies, what would it be? Patience. Because it's taken us 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 years to put on a couple of stone, yet we expect to lose it in a month or a week or a day even. Patience. However, the second thing, which you've not asked me if I can have, but I'm having it anyway, was self-belief and confidence. That's actually 3. Self-belief and confidence are kind of the same thing. Patience. Patience. Patience, 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 right? You are not going to change the world in a day. You are not going to lose 2 stone in a month. If you do, we've got a problem, and you're never going to keep it off. Patience, 100%. And do you take supplements? Yes, I do take supplements. I take a multivitamin. I take pipperdine, and curcumin. I feel that I'm pronouncing that pipperdine wrong. Anyway, it's for joints. All right, I take omega and I take creatine to help with recovery from training. That is the supplements that I take. I don't take collagen, and I don't actually know what lion's mane is, but I don't take that neither. Right, anyway, that was that. Very exciting. Right, last question. Why is it so difficult to lose weight? I am not alone in spending years and years trying to diet and lose weight and ending up heavier than ever. I truly want to lose weight but keep self-sabotaging. It just doesn't make sense why, if I want something so badly, I just can't seem to do it. Right. That's actually, even though that's one question, that's actually quite a lot of questions. All right. So, sorry, I'm just laughing on this Facebook Live. It says, Jane Taylor is watching. Bring them on the video. Jane, remember I actually did that to you on my Instagram Live by mistake. That was like hilarious. Anyway, it was hilarious for me. You handled it very well, by the way. That was ages ago when I was trying to do it. I think I was only on my first or second Instagram Live. Anyway, it made me smile. Sorry. Right, so why is it so difficult to lose weight? Right, it's actually not difficult to lose weight. It is a scientific process. I realise I sound like a right wanker here, right? But there's going to be a but in a minute, all right? It is a scientific process, right? And if you follow that scientific process of eating less than your body needs, you will lose weight, all right? And literally anybody can lose weight. It's the keeping it off that's the problem. Eating at maintenance and keeping the fat off and not yo-yo dieting is the hardest thing, I think, in the world, all right? And there's actual evidence to prove that it is very hard, all right? So, I'm not alone in spending years and years trying to diet and lose weight and ending up heavier than ever. Correct, you are not. I have done it. Most of my clients have done it at some point, and there's so many other ladies that I speak to on a daily basis out there that have done it as well, right? The biggest thing I would say that why we can't do it is because you over restrict Monday to Friday and kick the arse out of it at the weekend. That is the biggest reason, all right? So over restrict, we cut out all chocolate, we cut out all carbs, we cut out all sugar, we try and live on fucking soup and frozen fucking veg, right? We actually even cut out fruit. I mean, what the fuck? Oh, fruit and sugar is bad for you. Right, fuck off. That is the problem, right? So we restrict Monday to Friday. We get to Friday night, Saturday, and we're like, oh my God, I have been fucking amazing all week. And then we kick the arse out of it, whether it's with wine, vodka, gin, pizza, takeaway, party food, or we just generally relax a bit too much at the weekend. So if you're eating if you're on 2,000 calories a day, right, or you should be on 2,000 calories a day as a calorie deficit, right, and you only eat 1,000 calories a day, Monday to Friday, that's 5,000 calories, right? You've got 12,000 calories left. It is fucking easy, by the way, to eat 12,000 calories over 2 days when you are not paying attention to what you're eating and drinking. It is fucking easy. All it takes is a cooked breakfast, go for your lunch out, go out partying, get some drinks into you, have dinner when you're out, and then get a takeaway on the way home. You could probably actually do that on Saturday. It's pretty fucking easy, by the way. So that is why it is so difficult. There's other reasons, but the biggest reason that I hear is because you over restrict Monday to Friday and then go wild at the weekend. All right. Self-sabotaging is an absolutely whole different ball game, all right? The reason we self-sabotage is to give ourselves a false illusion of being in control. I kid you not, all right? If you go and look into it, I am not a psychologist, and I'm not even kidding on that I am a psychologist, but if you look into the psychology behind self-sabotage, part of it is if you are trying to diet and you feel that you're all over it, right? And then for some reason something gets into your head, you make that decision to go and eat 8 Freddos, 10 Freddos, get a takeaway, wham a bottle of wine, get crisp and dip, whatever, right? Because then you are kidding yourself on that you are in control. Whereas in fact, self-sabotage, oh, we so fucking do it all. It's women, man. We're a fucking nightmare. We bring emotion into everything, honestly. See the difference between boy dieters and girl dieters. Most of the time, and I'm not speaking about everybody here, right? But most men will treat dieting as a task. They're here, they need to get to here, this is what they need to do, and they'll fucking do it. Women, we're here, we want to get to here. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm excited, I'm crying, I'm busy, I'm stressed, I'm cool, I'm not busy. And we will just eat at every single peak and trough of that thing. We're an absolute nightmare. It's difficult. It's totally difficult. Right. Self-sabotage is your brain's way of kidding yourself on that you're in control. Self-sabotage is hard, right? Whoever this was in my Facebook group, right? If you stick in, if you don't mind speaking about it in the Facebook group, right? I will send you, in fact, I'll maybe try and post it. I have a list on my phone of all the dates that I self-sabotage, right? And I think it goes back to 2020. And when you look at it, A lot of it was emotional eating, to be fair, right? But it was pretty much self-sabotage. It was like, I can't do this, so I'm just going to make the decision to go to the shop and buy 3 share bags of crisps, and then I'm going to tip them into bowls with dip, and I'm going to sit on the sofa as a precursor to my pizza, which could be, if I was being good, supermarket, or it could be takeaway, probably washed down with a bottle of wine. What the actual fuck, by the way, all right? But it's hard, self-sabotage. You need to look into the psychology of it. Google it, right? Have a wee look. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, but it's also, and I'm not belittling self-sabotage because it's fucking difficult, right? But we are dramatic sometimes. It's just a habit. And with all habits, you can train yourself out of it and you can train yourself into new habits. It will be hard and it does take brain space, all right? But it is just a habit. So try to take the emotion out of it. Difficult, I know. All right. It just doesn't make sense why if I want something so badly, I just can't seem to do it. But because you've been dieting for so long, on and off, this is to do with confidence. If you listen to yesterday's podcast as well, episode 24 is on confidence, all right? We have been dieting for so long. Well, we think we have been dieting for so long. We probably haven't, because we've been doing the Monday to Friday under-eating, kicking the arse out at the weekend. But we just don't believe that we can do it anymore. We've got no confidence in ourselves. We've got no self-belief in ourselves at all. Therefore, we think we're going to fail. So by self-sabotaging, you're preempting that you're going to fail, but you're kidding on that it's on your terms. Yeah, it's a tough thing to beat, but you can beat it. Absolutely promise you can beat it, but you need to start believing that you can beat it. And you need to do some research and educate yourself. All right. Well, my lovelies, 26 minutes. Another 26 minutes of my chat, but some banging questions. Do you not think? Like, I don't think there'll be a woman out there that hasn't thought about one of those questions. We are ultimately all the same, 100%. We are emotional. We bring emotions into everything. We think that we're in control and we're not. And sometimes, most of the time, it's just easier to decide when we fail. It's tough, man, but you can all do it. 100%. 100%. Anyway, I'm going to wrap that up now, my lovelies. Thank you very much for your anonymous cues for the Facebook group of the Mini Midlife Reset. There is another anonymous Q post coming up. I can't remember when it is, Thursday or Friday, but you can go in, just go into the search bar in the Facebook group, type in anonymous Qs. That post with the form, your anonymous Q form, will ping up at any time, and then you can just fill it in. I'll check it every day. If there's any more, then I'll do another video. All right, my lovelies. Speak to you soon. Bye.